Johnson, of course, took over Georgia Tech last year. This is his second year. Paul Johnson built up the Navy program. Also on FCS, he made noise, one of the best coaches. 18 returning starters from a 9-4 squad. And Josh Nesbitt will be their quarterback, led by Jonathan Dwyer.
Jonathan Dwyer, 1,400 yards last year. Roddy Jones, and you also look at the other running back, Lucas Cox. Awesome backs. All three can be legitimate stars across the country. But Dwyer's a headliner. He's that fullback in that option attack, and he is 6 feet, 220, powerful with speed to take it the distance.
Demarius Thomas, their wide receiver, of course, he's explosive, but they run the triple option offense.
Don't let that fool you. That guy can really play ball. He's 6'3", 230. So he's going to get his fair share. He's difficult to cover because when they throw the ball in the option attack, you have to catch it because they only throw it so many times. So he's a real good player. Plus, to get 10 offensive starters back, second year in that option offense, this could be the most deadliest offense in the country.
And this offensive line, led by Cord Howard, the left guard, second-team ACC last year. And you know they love to play for Paul Johnson because offensive line and love to block, and they're going to be mashers this year, paving the way for all these backs. Roddy Jones, Jonathan Dwyer, Nesbitt. It's going to be interesting offensive power to watch. Defensive side of the ball, of course, they lost a big name, Michael Johnson, but they return another defensive end in Derek Morgan. And, of course, a guy in the secondary I love, the rover back, the safety, Morgan Burnett.
Yeah, you look at the defensive lineman, Derek Morgan, 7 sacks last season. He's going to improve second year in that defense. You look at Burnett, 7 interceptions last year back there, and he can hit. He's a ball hawk. That also can tackle. That's a good combination. You look at 8 starters returning on that defense. So you got 10 starters on offense, 8 starters on defense. This is a scary team, but they have to pick up that pass defense. They allow quarterbacks to complete 60% of their passes last season. That has to improve, but I like what I see so far in Atlanta.
You're right, defensive backs, but they need to get a rush on the quarterback from the defensive line. That's going to be interesting. Can their defensive line hold up? If it plays up to par or even better, watch out for the Yellow Jackets. They bring in J.C. Lanier to help out on the defensive tackle position, and they also bring in a quarterback who's going to be a backup with Jabo Shaw also if Nesbitt goes down because they're going to run the ball so much in that offense, so you need some depth at the position. Jordan Llewellyn, very highly touted quarterback. Schedule-wise, they play Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Georgia, all out of conference. Like what they do there all the time. In conference, they host Clemson, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech. They got to go to Miami on a Thursday night. Miami's going to want to get back at Georgia Tech after Georgia Tech embarrassed them on that Thursday night last year. And also, they have to play at FSU.
Good thing I like about the schedule, they get Virginia Tech and UNC at home.
North Carolina, Butch Davis, another coach in his third year, 15 returning starters. This team surprised many people last year. TJ Yates and Mike Pauls will battle out for the QB position. Yates probably has it now. Sean Drawn, former safety turned running back. He has the reins as the tailback, but they lose great wideouts on the side. Hakeem Nicks making catches, what hands he had, and Brandon Tate, they lost him in the middle of the year for the year last year. He got drafted. They're both gone. Greg Little is going to be their go-to guy receiver, and their tight end, Zach Pianalto, who also got injured for the year last year.
Yeah, you look at the offense, their top 2 rushers return, Drone and Little. They lose Nicks and Tate. You look at TJ Yates, he's an awesome talent who keeps improving every year. Watch out for freshman wide receiver, true freshman wide receiver, Jerani Boyd. He'll have an impact to help ease some of the loss of those 2 outstanding prospects they lost last season.
Kyle Jolly will anchor that offensive line, and you know how Butch Davis loves it. Nicks and Tate out. Let's bring in Boyd. Recruit, recruit, recruit. Davis, you know he built those great teams at Miami.
That offensive line, 4 starters return, solid group. Expect to see the best out of TJ Yates this year.
Defensive side of the ball, Marvin Austin, already a junior. This guy was highly touted out of high school. He mans a D tackle. Robert Quinn, defensive end. And I love their linebackers. Bruce Carter and Quan Sturdivant, not only on defense, but special teams. They like to get in there, block punts. Butch Davis does the Beamer ball way, defense and special teams.
One thing I like about that defense, I do love Marvin Austin, real big guy in the middle, big space eater. You look at their secondary; they got a solid secondary, and that's a Butch Davis staple as well too. You look at cornerback Kendrick Barney as well as Donta Williams, free safety, 6 interceptions combined. They get their hands on the football, so you know they like to play aggressive style of defense. I like that defensive side of football in North Carolina.
Deontay Williams, the free safety, look out for him. And Moss, the defensive end.
Also, look out for linebacker Quan Sturdivant, 120-something tackles. Awesome player.
Him and Carter love their ability at linebacker. At a conference, they get Connecticut and ECU. They should handle those teams as they had big years last year. Will not have the same teams as last year. So let's see if UNC can beat them. They avoid Clemson for the 3rd straight year, but 3 of their last 5 interesting: Virginia Tech, Miami, and North Carolina State.
You gotta love I love their September and October schedule. They don't get a real test until October 29th at Virginia Tech, but that's one hell of a test.
University of Virginia, 5-7 last year, 11 returning starters. Al Groh in his 9th year also. What a trend. Jamil Sewell, seems like he's been there for 20 years. Of course, athletic quarterback, likes to run it. They lose their tailback, Pearson. They bring back Mikel Simpson. Interesting.
One thing Al Groh is good at, and he's a former NFL coach, is offensive line play. Virginia has one of the best offensive lines, not only in the ACC, but probably the country. Every year, there's an offensive lineman from Virginia that's going in the 1st round.
Eugene Monroe last year.
Monroe. Then you have DeBrickashaw Ferguson. You know, Elton Brown went in the 2nd round.
Brandon Albert.
He does a good job down there. So their offensive line. You look at Morgan Moses, 6'7", 330. Big guy.
True fresh they bring in.
They bring in another true freshman. That O-line will help the running back by committee they're going to use because they lost Alvin Pierman last year. So you look at that. Having a veteran offensive line is going to help out the quarterback, which is a little bit inconsistent, plus their running back by committee.
Defense led by Rasai Dowling, 2nd team All-ACC, and Vic Hall. They're in the corners. And a freshman who stepped up last year, Matt Conrad. He's the defensive end. 0 returning linebackers. They're going to get a jump done on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, they run that 3-4. They don't 0 returning linebackers, but they do have some size at linebacker. Everyone averages about 6'4", 250. They have some size, so they're gonna be physical. You look at the 3 seniors at the linebacking position. Cornerback is a strength. You know, Vic Hall is another good guy that can make some plays on the ball as well too. So, and Razai Dowling, 3 interceptions, 11 pass breakups, is a legit NFL prospect again.
At a conference, they get TCU, Southern Miss, and Indiana. But let's see if they can make noise in the ACC first and foremost.
That schedule is brutal. They at Southern Miss, at UNC. They get TCU at home, which is a tough game. But they go to Clemson too, so that's a real tough slate.
Duke has been in the basement forever in the ACC. I believe 2 wins, and I don't know how many years, 10
right.
years or something like that. But they actually showed some signs of life last year under David Cutcliffe. He's now in his 2nd year. They were 4-8 last year. Better than usual. They return 11 starters, led by Thaddeus Lewis, their quarterback.
I love Thaddeus Lewis. He's a real good quarterback. He's efficient with the football. He's smart. 62% completion percentage, which is awesome. That's the reason why they were able to play ball control offense at Duke. They're going to look for true freshman running back Desmond Scott, 5'10", 195, and also has great speed to come in and start for the Blue Devils.
Well, you better be smart as a Duke student. Never mind a Duke quarterback. 2 returning starters in the offensive line, but their defense led by the big tackle up front, Vince Ogabahasi.
Yeah, Victor Ogabahasi is a legit NFL prospect. Big space eater, again, similar to Marvin Austin at UNC, but this guy can really play. He's the anchor of that defense. Also, back on the offense, don't forget wide receiver Johnny Williams is a speedster.
Duke plays at Kansas this year. I mean, Duke, Kansas. Woo, let's get up. Yeah, this is not basketball. This is football. Duke at Kansas, and then they got to go through the brutal ACC.
Looking at the schedule overall, I think, Duke can win 4 or 5 games. I like the way they, and that could be a good thing for Duke. That shows consistency. Cutcliffe has that team going in the right direction.
You like them on the over and over-under wins? Go to Vegas. Let's go.